Morning,
So
everyone.
big.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to a QA review session 2 for 2021. We have Jose Rodriguez with us, who's going to tell us the latest, greatest, and updates, Pro QA Aqua, and other things IAED PDC related. Jose, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Corey. I think I know everybody, but just in case, I am Jose Rodriguez. I am the Client Success Manager for Priority Dispatch. Because I'm all seen, I have already prepared to bring up the website because I figure that's everybody's frustration. So everybody should be able to see the website, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna hide my ugly face. That way you can see more of the screen and less of me. Okay, so some of the things that we were talking about right before the meeting started was the research issue that you can't request it yet. There was two things with that. One is when we brought it all over and opened it up or restarted the system, one of the things with the research test that was going on, it was double charging and sometimes triple charging. So we immediately realized that and shut that part down. They're working on it. That one I don't have a time frame for. They told me about 2 weeks, but they want to make sure that there is no issues. We definitely don't want any agency to get double or triple charged for recert exams. In the meantime, I have to confirm with the academy, but another agency told me that they emailed the academy directly and they send them the research test to do it the old way. But you do have the 90-day grace period from the expiration date. Hopefully, like I said, in the next couple of weeks, they should have that part fixed. As far as recertifications, one of the things that at least has affected anybody who's an instructor, and I don't have what I'm logged into. I don't have a lot of people in here right now at the moment. Yeah, I don't have anybody in here actually in this one. But anybody who's an instructor, like Corey and myself, we're showing expired, and it seems to be several people who have shown expired. One of the things were, and just to give you guys a little background, we were working off of two systems. The new one that everybody's on, Priority Dispatch, has been working off of this one for a year and a half now. It's where all the courses are entered. Instructors will go to look at courses they're teaching and stuff like that. The academy was on an older system. In this merger, we brought things over from the academy onto this portal. And there's some things, again, the data like instructor certifications, recertifications didn't come across correctly, and that's what we're going to fix. They told me on that, ET on that is about a week. They were working on getting the data out of the old system, verify and make sure all the data is correct before they brought it into the new system. So if I was to log in as myself, as my true self, this is just the one that I use for training and stuff like that. All my certifications are expired. Nothing works for me. Even if I logged in, it wasn't working correctly. So let me do this. Let me log in as my real self. We'll be able to see a few more people on that one. All right, so if I go into the supervisor and I look at certification status, I'm going to see a whole bunch of people in here. Some of them are truly expired, some of them are not. But looking at, if you know for sure that somebody shows expired on here and they are current, or they just request, they just finished their recertification, give us like a week and a half and then come back and double check and then reach out to us and let us know, to update it. I'm pretty sure, like in my example here, I'm sure most of these people have recertified. It's just part of it. But if you look at my certifications, for example, all my instructors, for example, are expired, and I'm not expired as an instructor. And I renewed my EPD recently, so it's just a matter of that dump coming over. One of the nice things about it is you'll be able to have the diploma right there already for you guys. For all your staff, you'll be able to see it. So I'll be able to see it there. So that's just some of the things you'll be able to do from here. Under the supervisor tab, we're trying to keep everything in one place. So you'll be able to assign people to courses. So if you want this course assigned, you can select to all members. You can select to certain members to do that course. I'm not going to hit assign because I'm going to assign people to those courses. Any courses that are out there that you know that, like from Corey, like the Q class is going on this week, you can actually look in here and see who's registered in the courses. And you can actually view and print the roster from there too. Let me just close all these other tabs. I lose them behind the screen here. Under training reports, and again, it's going to take long because this is everybody inside Priority Dispatch. You're going to be able to see how many cert classes are enrolled, how many have been completed, courses completed, and so on. You can download it to have it in a CSV file. You can also see the verification report. This is something we used to have to email the academy for to get, to make sure that you know, where it shows expiration dates and that kind of stuff. And again, remember, right now the expiration dates are off, but you can actually look at your verification report. Anybody who's left your agency, you can actually take them off, or request we have take them off. User info. Let me pick up myself here. So on this, you can see what they're registered. You can have them. I don't believe this is working yet, but receive assessment reminder emails and receive course reminder emails. You can set it to 10 days before expiration, 60 days before, just to make sure that they get those notifications. Under group transcript, oops, wrong thing. So under supervisor, I can click on supervisor. Apologize, I hit calendar, and calendar takes a while because it's looking at all the classes. Okay. And I'll come back to calendar in a second. So under the supervisor tab, you have CDEs, so you can see how many hours they've completed. You can also add CDE hours from here. So based on, like, say for you guys, EMD or EFD, you can pick from everybody who attended the course what category it fell under. So let's just say it fell on quality assurance, how many hours, the activity date, let's say it was today. You can write out the activity. If there's any proof of it, you know, if you guys issued a certificate, you can add a copy of it here. And then it will add those hours for them. Again, you can download it, but you can see how many hours grand total you've given under each one of those categories. You can
Jose, I had
look
a
at,
question about CDE.
you had, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I missed a message. Go ahead.
No, I'm just I didn't type in the chat, but I've been getting a bunch of emails saying, you know, students' CDE hours are missing. Is that because they're still migrating the data over the next week? Okay.
I will keep an eye on it. If you're still in the next couple of weeks, keep an eye on it. If you don't see it coming over, then definitely reach out so we can look at your data on that. For anybody's missing CDE hours.
Would you be able to send me an email when you think everything's been merged, and then I know to go on a certain date and say, okay, by this date, it looks like from your end, everything's been migrated? Would that be possible? Just get an email, just email me, and then I'll reach out to everyone in Maine just to have them double check.
Yep, and only Corey, because I got a million things going on. If you don't hear from me, just shoot me a tickler to remind me.
Okay.
Okay. I'll keep it. I'll have a note on my as a reminder on my computer, but in case I miss it,
Okay, I
shoot me
just
an
wanted
email.
to make mention of that because that's one of the several topics of emails I've been sent.
Yep. So yeah, there's definitely, as you can tell, even with certs and all that, probably part of the same data needs to come over. All right, so we talked about everything on here. Corey, I don't know if this, I know it doesn't apply to most of them, but there is a new class request on here form. I know you're the one that sets it up and you have your process on that, so I won't go into detail on that, but they can request classes from here.
And Melissa Adams and I have been in contact with Chip Lavasek because the two of us have a unique circumstance versus everyone else. Our supervisor is not working as
Right.
it used to. So, because we used to be able to see everyone in multiple agencies, and right now we're only seeing those that are in our direct agency. So for me, I can only see people assigned to Emergency Services Communication Bureau, and Melissa can only see people assigned to Maine EMS, whereas we're the only two that really need to see everyone. So Chip is working through that. I just thought I'd let you know.
Okay, yep, I heard about that. All right, so that's everything on the supervisor portal. Group transcripts, again, you'll just be able to see, let me pick somebody who's gonna have stuff. Let me switch one, because Ken has like 3 accounts as he's testing stuff. So you can see what everybody's certified under, or what they have certifications in and what they haven't completed yet. You can even drill down, to when the course was attended. And these are just different things we've been testing over the last couple of weeks. So that's why it has a weird name on it. So you'll see the class, you'll see the scores. And again, if there's a certificate attached like that fire one, you'll see a certificate for it that you can download or copy if you want. Member info, that's just your person logged in's information. Transcripts, this is everything specific to that person, including any of the college courses that they've done. And if there's any, again, certificate, this is just another way to see it for any of the courses. And they can recertify from here. Again, right now, there's no way for you guys as agency managers and supervisors to request it like you used to. That's one of the things that they're fixing. The individual person can do it, but not the agency manager yet. Once I fix it, then you guys will be able to do it again. College is all on here too. And then under calendar, it'll actually list all the courses that are out there currently right now if you were to go onto the courses website. So these are all the EMD, EFD, PD, Q courses that are out there, whether it's remote or on-site.
I do have a class question, actually.
Go ahead.
So my understanding, I guess I understood this wrong. I thought that everything was migrating to online testing, but I guess they're still issuing paper tests. Is that correct?
So as of last week, everything can go online, but some agencies are still choosing paper for the on-site tests, on-site courses.
So is it automatically online unless you request paper, or is it paper unless you request online?
It is both, honestly. It is both
Okay, let me
paper and
rephrase
online.
it.
Yeah.
Do I need to let the academy? I want them to test online. So that's what I want to do going forward.
You should tell them that, because we got to make sure, and all the instructors, I think they've gotten 80% of the instructors trained to be able to do online testing.
Okay.
But you let them know that's to make sure the instructor who's doing your class can do online testing.
Okay.
That's the only caveat. But any course right now can do either or. But ultimately, the goal will be online for everybody. It's just we're in that transition period. So
because we're migrating to, where everything seems to be going digital, we're just getting on board with it. We're going with that. So I want to make sure we're all behind the standard message. If that's what's going to happen, I want it to be consistent.
Everything's going online. like everything else, for giving agencies, although you guys are on the forefront, you guys have adopted it, there's still some agencies that have not, that they're fighting. So we're
Don't
giving them
confuse me for saying I want tablets. I'm not ready for that yet.
well, no, I'm not talking about tablets. I'm
I
talking
know.
about the
I'm just
online
saying.
digital.
I'm just razzing you. I'm being mean.
No worries. So yeah, it's just we are doing it. Even the research going to be online. Research are not visible on here, but even the research are going to be, everything's going to be online for every single test.
That reminds me of another question. Research online. I know we keep falling into this issue where the student sometimes mistakenly grabs the wrong research exam. So let's say they go to research in 7.0. Well, now it'd be 7.1, I guess, but 7.0, and they are given a 6.1 exam. Is the academy eliminating, if your agency's 7.0, that it's like the system to me should know that. There shouldn't be an option for multiple tests. Has that been finessed and worked through with the recertification process?
I haven't heard it tying specifically to the agency. As of right now, we cannot get rid of the other ones because there's still, again, there's some agencies out there and worldwide that haven't gone to the newer version, like FIRE. There's a couple that, because the translation has been done, the new language, so they're still going to be 6.1, or they are still in 6.1. So we'll never. Well, let me rephrase that. As of right now, we're not getting rid of the other versions. I have not heard that they can tie it down to an agency, because we don't, at least not here right now. We're tracking that, what version you guys are on.
Okay.
Now, can it be done? I'm not sure, so I'm not saying it's not possible. I just haven't heard that they will be doing that.
Okay. Because I know I run into this, probably a good dozen times a year where somebody failed, and first question I say is, what did they take for a test?
I think
Well,
what's going to help.
7.0, and you look at it and it's like 6.1. It's like, no, you grabbed the wrong test.
Yeah, I think what's going to help on that, probably once you guys are able to assign them to the thing, you guys can just make sure you assign them to the right one. Oh, where is it that I'm looking for? So this is all to me.
So the supervisor can go in and assign the exam?
They will be able to, not yet, but they will be able to.
Okay.
So if I pick this person, so I know the courses are assigned to. Yeah, I don't even have the tab up here now, but you will be able to assign them, just like you can assign them to a course or a college course, or actually to a protocol course. You'll be able to assign them to the research test. Because they're here, they're just not visible. We don't have them out available. But they're actually out there. There's some of these tiles that are hidden. So they'll be able to be assigned, hopefully very soon.
Okay.
Now, again, for agencies that the supervisor, manager, / manager controls that. Again, there's some agencies out there that just tell the people, hey, you're responsible for it. Make sure you pick the right one. Because they're still out there, but. All right. So that's the college, or sorry, the academy website. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go on here, but we do have some videos. These are the same videos that sent out in the email that sent out a week and a half ago, 2 weeks now. There's also a user guide on the portal itself. The user guide's pretty good. It does have screenshots, but it kind of walks you through all the different things you can do on here. The first part is the registering somebody for a course, the calendar tab, search tab, my courses, member info, agency IDs, college courses, the CDE tab, and stuff like that. If you haven't already done so, just log in and grab it, and you can download it. That way you have it available for yourselves. So on the transcript, again, because I'm logged in, this is just my personal transcript, not everybody else's. All right. So that's on the website itself, is there any other questions I may not have covered or Corey asked and for you guys that may have not been covered?
I had a question come up today, and switching, like somebody goes to work for another agency. I noticed the agency ID grays out. Is there no way for you to change your agency? Or does the
So,
supervisor have to go and do it? Or do we have to request by email through a certain department?
so the way that's supposed to work, when you look at your verification report, let me see if they've turned that on yet. Trim- Yeah, it looks like it's gonna have to be a request to the academy because they're the ones that control that.
Is that through certs?
Certified emergency dispatch.org. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The good thing is that you'll be able to see. In the old days, you have to email them first to see your verification report, see who's on there, who's not. Now you can get it real time, and then just start emailing as a list.
And maybe I'm missing something, but looking at this, it looks like it only accommodates one agency being assigned to an individual. What about the individuals who work for, say, 3 agencies, 3 different dispatch agencies?
So on the back end, because remember, I'm only looking at one agency because I'm only assigned to one agency. That person could be assigned to multiple agencies. There's a primary one, and then there's could be additional auxiliary, if you want to call it a different word. But because I'm only assigned to one agency, I only see them on this agency. I can't see what other agencies they're assigned to. Unless, like in your case, Corey, when Chip is fixes yours and Melissa's, that you can see all agencies, you'll see them on multiple agencies.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the website? All right. So some of the other things I have, as you guys know, there was a recent update of Aqua. The newest version is 7.1.0.8. And in that update, it was just a maintenance. It wasn't a major update. It was just a maintenance release. And what they've done there is they updated the reports. The determinant drift report is one of them. It was modified to only show the agency totals, and the breakdown by dispatchers was removed. Before on that report, you had both by dispatchers and by agency totals, and it made it for a confusing report. So they've cleaned that up. The report generation process under the ACE report has been modified to only go through the first 2 windows. And then select case, list, discipline, select agency date, and the next button will then generate the report instead of having to go multiple steps. One of the other things too, hopefully you guys are registered to get those notifications when they come out. But one of the things that they're doing, like for ProQA, and I'm not going to go through play the video right now, but there is a video like whenever they release a new version, they didn't do it for Aqua, but they did it for ProQA. There'll be a video, and it specifically goes through, and they're usually short videos. These are like 3-minute videos, and it goes through all the changes, what that last release does. So this was the last release of ProQA, which is 5.1.4.1. And there's sound to it. I just didn't set up to play sound, but it'll tell you what the latest versions are of protocol. And then it goes through all the notes and stuff like that. Or it actually shows you what the changes were, so you can see them. I think it's a good tool. It's a Vimeo link to it. So you can definitely share it with your group to look at it, unless you guys want to do it in a classroom type setting. So the last release of ProQA, there was an update to Protocol T, Tourniquet. There's changes to difficulty breathing on the trauma cards. Breathing problem in Protocol 6. Protocol 13. That's police that you guys don't have, so I won't bore you with the police one. Once you guys are registered, I'm just gonna go in through through the back end, but you guys can register and you'll have access to the support site where it has those videos. One of the things that's really, really cool that they've been doing recently, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at it yet. As soon as I find, let's see. So when you go on the website, on any of the things, like if you know it's a ProQA release, if you go to ProQA Paramount, you'll get what the new releases are. You'll also be able to see and I'm going through a back end for me, but one of the things that they release, so here's the video, the notes on the video and stuff like that. One of the things that they include now for you guys is the impact form. And the impact form, and they make this legible for people who have older eyes. With every new release, and they do it for Aqua also, it's called an impact form. And what it does is what products are impacted by this new release. So for example, if Academy Analytics was affected, AD Relay or anything like that. And this release was obviously a ProQA release. You got high, medium, low, or no impact. So for this last release, for medical, it was a medium impact. For fire was low, police was low, and again, you guys don't care about police right now. And then if you scroll across, it'll tell you what the impact is. It's a new determiner code was enabled for Omega use. I'm sorry, that's police. A new determiner code is added to protocol 24. So that way you know, okay, so this is where it's impacted. And then if you scroll down, it gives you a client user impact and the impact description. So for EMD training, it's a high impact. There'll be 2 hours of staff training are recommended. For EFD, it was a medium impact, 1 hour staff training. And the new determiner code has been added to protocol 24, so that's what the change was. Police, you guys don't care about. So if you guys are ever looking, is this an update that I need to do right now? Is this critical? Is this something important? Always that impact form is included with all new releases once you guys go to the website. Have you guys had a chance to look at that by any chance?
No, I have not.
Okay. If you guys don't have access, make sure you request it to software hold on. Oh, wrong one. Too many websites that I have. Support. Oh.
I think I found it, Jose. PriorityDispatchNet.SharePoint.com/sites/software downloads-external access.
Yep, that's it. You probably already have access. That's why you can see it. That's what I was looking at here. That's what this where I got the impact form from. But to request for you guys that don't have access, to make sure you get access for your agencies, your IT should have it. You want to go on the support website and click on software download request. Fill out the information. And then it won't let me do it. We go next, it'll tell you what protocols and software you need updates on to get that request for, and then they'll send you a link to it. And then you'll have access to where this is. Aqua 7 is the same thing. So previous release, new release, so 7.108. Like I said, they haven't done a video on this one yet, but here's the impact form for that one. Oh, this one's really tiny. Okay. So on this one, obviously it was impacted on Aqua. Requires an update to Accelerator. That's where the biggest impact is. So you know that you need to update Accelerator to be able to do Aqua. So then of course that impacts Accelerator. How it impacts the agency? Minor change have been made to specific reports and features. The release notes. So it's a low impact. No training or anything like that really needed. And it does give you a legend on the side of what the different levels mean. But it's very important for you guys as you're getting those notifications that there's a new version stuff out there. That way you guys are up to speed, but you also know how it's impacted. And I think they've added that form probably in the last 3 or 4 months. It's being included with all new releases.
I will say it's a lot smoother interaction than previous methodologies.
Yeah. We're trying, Corey. We're trying. We're trying to drag everybody into the modern world.
I do have a comment about ProQA, the medical 51141. I sent Brett an email. I got some emails concerned about how EMD is not working as well as the EFD. They didn't experience the problem in EFD ProQA, only in the medical ProQA on case entry. After they went from CAD into ProQA when it populates, they said it wasn't tabbing down. So like people were going to enter the info, and like they were typing back over the information that they had already entered. Like they go to enter phone number and they would put the location. I don't know. Something was happening with just EMD. I called several agencies and found that like 3 of them were experiencing this problem. And I noticed the problem only happened with those who actually updated to 4.1. People who said they didn't have a problem with that, I asked what version they were on. They might have been on like 39 or so they weren't on 41.
Okay. What did Brett tell you?
I never got a response.
All right.
Never got an answer.
Okay. Probably those things, just for the future, Corey, because now they've built in a new process. Make sure support's looped in there because they have they'll connect directly with developments once they can recreate it. Problem, they'll see what you guys are experiencing.
So is that client support email I should be sending something to?
No, it's just software.support at partydispatch.net.
Okay. Software.
But let me see if I've heard. Let me look through my notes to see if I have anything on that. Actually, I'm looking through the wrong thing. Because I sometimes get included on updates or things that they're working on.
Okay.
But let me see if I've got anything. Because if it's something that they discover that it is broken, it'll get fixed in the next release.
But those centers said EFD was fine. It was just happening with the EMD ProQA.
Yeah, and it's possible. Rare, but it is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any new updates that are coming out yet.
All right, I'll try to find that email I sent to Brett.
Yeah, just loop in support because Brett has a million things going on too. Brett's really good, and you've seen in the past he's really responsive, but he's got a little busy lately.
That's why I usually reach out to him. So
yeah,
he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's really good on that. We're bringing out a whole bunch of new products and stuff like that, so he's been really tied up on trying to get those, make sure those are working correctly. But yep, definitely. I'll keep an eye on that, Corey. So I'll make a note of it and see if I see any release things coming out on that. Hold on, let me write that down.
Okay.
So it's ProQA Med, not tabbing between the fields, right?
Only on the case entry.
Tabbing between fields in case entry. Okay. I'll see if I can figure out. I'll see if Brett has done something about it just so I can get back to yours, figure out what's going on with it, or if anybody else has reported it.
And if you need to go direct, I know Somerset was one of them that had experienced that. So if you want to deal direct with the agency as well, that's
Somerset?
Yeah, Somerset
Okay.
was one of them. I can't recall who the other was. Might have been Hancock, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Cool. All right. What other questions? I know we got a small group today, but I'm sure you guys got questions.
I have a recommendation. You got your comment suggestion box open? It's attached. I know it's attached to a shredder. I know, but
no. I do have my notes.
There's a lot of confusion we're getting recently, and other emails I'm getting about when I enroll somebody in like an EFD, EMD class. It says make sure you take your OutTech. Well, I think they should be putting a caveat in there that would prevent the emails to me that says if you just took ETC, you don't need to take the OutTech module. You know what I'm saying? But I think they're thinking that, well, the academy says I have to take OutTech. Well, no, you don't, because you took ETC the week before. That ETC will meet or exceed the standards of what OutTech is.
Right.
So I'm just thinking if the academy can kind of loop that into their email literature, just, make note that, if ETC is taken within X amount of time frame, you do not need to take OutTech. Everyone else, please complete OutTech by the time of the first class.
Yep. Just making notes here. Kind of verbiage be added to include ETC. That way makes sense to me. Okay.
And I'll always add that I think I added this last time, but there still seems to be a learning curve with creating an account for the academy. You create your account, you verify your email address, then you have to log back in. You have to click on member info, and then you have to click on agency ID. It just seems like there's a lot of steps there. Can more of that get put on the front end? Even if you added one field, enter your agency ID number here. And then I just think that would make it so much simpler instead of having to log back in, find where to go, and then enter your agency ID. If you can enter that on the front end, I just think that would be more user-friendly for the customer.
I did hear talk about that. You're not the only one asking that.
Okay.
Okay.
And last question, and this is all I have. Boy, I was full of questions today.
Well, that's good. I like it.
So why is ETC so different than EMD, EFD from a registration standpoint? So I'm speaking from a coordinator standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
When you go through EMD, EFD class, Q class, I like it because you know what? You get the email, all the books are there, right? On Mimeo, you get signed up. Why is ETC not following the same processes as EMD, EFD, all the other certification classes? Like I have to interact with, is it Laura Trickett?
Yeah.
And I have to request X amount of books, now ebooks, right? And, sometimes my numbers are changing, by the time of class, and this is happening right now. I requested, say 10 or 15, and I've had a few drop out. It's like, shouldn't it equate anytime somebody signs up for the class, they should automatically get a book assigned to them, just like they do with EMD, EFD? I just don't get why that process is so drastically different for ETC. I would think they'd want to mimic it and have it, in apples to apples comparison.
So I'll give you they are working on that, but I'll give you the answer why that one is the last one to be done. And we have a lot of, so you're looking at just for you, Corey, but ETC is also taught in a lot of different scenarios. High school classes or high schools are using it, again, to give them a career path. And
Okay.
theirs is different, where ETC for them is taught over a semester. And their students can vary. So, you got 4 semesters in a quarter or 4 quarters in a year. So
They
that's taught
use the
over
same
several.
book though, right?
But the thing is that they don't know if what their quantities are going to be at the beginning of the year. So when they say, hey, we're going to have students in this class, they don't know. So they have a generic number. So that's part of the reason. So we're working on that. It's not that it's not going to happen. It's just that's why that one's taking us the longest. Because there's
It just, to
different
me, it
parts
seems
of-
like, one student gets one book. It's just kind of like when
Right.
EMD, if you get one student, you get one book.
Right. So for example, Texas, I can't remember if it was Texas. They do ETC kind of like you guys for all the agencies in the state. But in Texas, and not by the state, it's for the county. They're
Okay.
called CAPCOGs. And they know they're going to be teaching courses. It's every other month they teach an ETC course. So when they purchase and schedule, everything's scheduled for the whole year. We know we're going to teach courses. But they don't know the people because it just depends who gets hired and stuff like that. So it's just working out the logistics to make sure it works exactly the same. Because like if you put in Corey, now for the rest of 2022, you put in our UTC courses, people need to register. Great. Registry should be equated Mimeo, like we do for the CERT classes as people register. In classes and for like that one place in Texas, they don't register people until the end sometimes. It's the payment issue. So ETC works very, very, even though it's kind of the same, but it works very different because of what ETC is. But it is something that the Academy is working on. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, they were looking at getting all the materials in there in Mimeo and tying it to the courses. It's a process, but they are working on it.
In my mind, it almost seems like Priority Dispatch is still in the paper shipping books mentality. And I don't think they've caught quite. I don't think processes wise they've caught up to digital. Everything can work a lot more seamless and streamlined. It seems like I don't know. And now they switch it to the up to 3 days you can register for a class.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I still hold people to a week or two because we do it differently, and we need to know ahead of time. Plus, we feed people, so we need to make sure. But it just boggles my mind that it's so drastically different. It hasn't kind of assimilated to the other courses.
Although it feels like the same, ETC is for you. It's not, but for other people who do use ETC, it is very different how they do it. So we've had to make sure that we don't want to put something out, Corey, and then it frustrates you because it's not working right. We're tired of doing that. So we want to make sure we try to do it as perfect as we can, and knowing that it might not be. So we're just trying to work all the logistics on it. But I know that they only ordered a certain amount of more ETC materials, and that's it. There's not going to be anything else because it's going digital for sure materials sooner than later. And then the registering process, it's the last piece they're going to work on.
Okay.
All right. So Corey's emptied out his bag of questions. What do the rest of you guys have? Anybody? Tim, you don't have any questions?
No, mine were focused mostly on the website issues that we're having. It's been a lot of frustration for my folks, self included. Right. But I think you've addressed those as best you can, and hopefully things get fixed soon. As far as actual EMD and EFD, things have been going pretty well. Our folks seem shy I guess this is a good problem to have as a queue in some ways, but when we push out reviews to our folks and talk to them about reviews, they're pretty accepting to the feedback, and they don't really provide us any dynamic issues to bring to your attention, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I know you guys filter everything through Corey, and Corey's really good to make sure that he shakes the right trees with your guys' questions and stuff like that. So keep them coming through Corey. I think it works well, Corey, unless you want them to do it differently.
No, because then when they tell me, I also have a better grasp and pulse on what's going on as well. You know, if they go direct, then I might not know unless they CC'd me. So I think we'll keep doing it this way.
Perfect. Cool. All right, Corey, I'll leave it back to you. See if
was there anything for EFD related?
No. It covered in that video. I will actually. We're in Teams. I can share the link from right here. Hold on. I'm gonna copy in the link for ProQA, the last release. There it is. It is on the website, but I'll post it in the chat here. That way, everybody can look at the video and share it. Like I said, the Vimeo video.
Okay.
And that covers all the last releases. They didn't do one for Aqua, but this is the one for ProQA. It's on the chat now for everybody to share.
Thank you.
All right. I'll give one last call. Any more questions? And now I'll give it to Corey. All right, Corey.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And, hey, if there was any lesson learned over COVID, right? Our productivity could actually go up with some of this remote stuff. It's almost seems like a waste of time to have you fly out here just for a small talk. I mean, usually you're out here anyway for in person, but where everything's been so remote. Have you had any stats, by the way, on how students have been doing remote versus in person? I have personally seen in Maine, it seems like for the most part, people are actually testing better remotely than they were for in-person classes.
Yeah, that's been what we've been seeing, and I attribute it personally, not that anybody's told me, is the fact that it's 6 days of remote classes, but it's 4 hours a day, and you got the rest of the day to study what you learned that day, instead of 3 days back to back. After 5 o'clock, the last thing you want to do is crack the book open to look at anything. We're doing 4 hours, you're not burnt out yet. So I think people have more time to review the materials they learn, come back the next day or whenever the next class is with their questions and stuff like that. And I think it has helped on scores.
I just thought of something else for your suggestion box.
Hold on, I'm going to bring up my suggestion box. Okay.
Because I don't think this is in there, but what about when people register for EMD, EFD class? I don't think there's anything in there about what's it called? Is it called study session?
Oh no, we had to stop the study halls. We're gonna restart them in, I want to say October 1st, or I don't know if it's October 1st or November 1st. We're gonna have, because we were doing it Mondays and Wednesdays, all disciplines. So we're gonna break it up to specific days. And I don't quote me on this, I remember what days. But for example, Mondays is going to be EFD or EPD, and then Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be EFD. We're trying to try it in with the remote courses.
Well, if they can hash out what the schedule ends up being, I think it would be more beneficial and improve enrollment in those programs if people knew about it more on the front end. So when they get their links that they're registered, once a supervisor knows about it, because I don't think a lot of supervisors know about this program, they can incorporate it into their schedule. Be like, hey, I know you're doing EMD, but there's also a study session we want you enrolled in as well that you can do to help improve your skills.
Yeah.
I think when they learn about it, because very often I'll see instructors will talk about it on the first day of class. But by the time that happens, the train's already left the station, right? Now they tell the supervisor, and it's like, well, we didn't factor it into your schedule. people actually know about this ahead of time, they can accommodate the work schedule for it and plan for it.
Right. So I mean, study halls mentioned it on the registration emails.
Yeah.
Registration confirmation emails, I should say.
Yes.
There you go.
Is that study hall something that's only open to new, like in class people taking the EMD, or is that open to current certified people?
It's
That's
only
another
open,
good suggestion. You should
it's
have
on-
something where, yeah.
No, it's only open to the remote courses.
Okay, I just, as an agency, we sometimes have people that maybe need a little remedial exercise. And I didn't know if that was something that in the future we had thought about, even as a state, that as a going forward, here's your plan for improvement, which would be to be included in those study halls. But if it's a new
Right.
person thing, no problem. Thank you.
Yep. They talked about it, and right now they want to keep it to just the remote courses. Because the thought of the study hall online versus on site is if you're on site for, usually an instructor during lunch and stuff breaks, people come up to them and ask questions. This in a remote world, you can't do that. So this is what the study hall was created for. It's for those students that are too shy to ask during the class, but they don't have an instructor during a break that they can ask that question to. So that's what they're working on. It doesn't mean in the future that won't change, but as of right now, that's what they're sticking to. What the goal of that is for.
Do you have any feedback on EFD particular? So, it's a 2-day class, people do they get their universal, let's say the whole class is universal material. They've done it, right? With either OutTech or ETC. Has that little savings in time allowed them to get through the material better? Because it seemed like EFD 7.0 was very rushed. They added all these things from 6.1, but they never expanded the amount of time to teach the actual class.
I haven't heard of anything like that, no.
I'm just curious if that's given them, removing the universal material from class, if that's given them more opportunity to focus on teaching more of the added protocols.
Right. I know there's talk of on the EPD side because of all the changes on EPD, but I haven't been privy to any conversation on the fire side, let's put it that way.
Okay.
I don't want to say that they're not. I just haven't been privy to it because I'm not on the medical either, but I tend to hear things about the medical because I'm more involved in the medical side. But
so I think maybe between now and the next QA review, who was it that was asking? Was that Cumberland County was asking about the refresher stuff? I wonder if we can just have something for the veterans who are struggling, if we have some kind of refresher day, or depending on what the attendance is, maybe more than one day, refresher for people that can get them back on board. I know we've always offered to have them come up to 1 day of class, but it doesn't always seem like that's the best application in my mind. I feel like, there needs to be some kind of refresher that's oriented for the veteran that needs help on something.
well, so funny you should mention that. They are working on offering a type of refresher class. They'll be available online to register for.
What do you think the turnaround on finalized product on that would be?
I'll be lying to you if I gave you a time frame. I know that it's no longer, hey, that's a good idea. It's like they're actually putting it together.
Okay.
But it has to go through the boards and get approved and all that stuff. And doc class and all that. So I don't know where that is.
So likely year to two, maybe.
No. I probably,
Sooner.
yeah, within the year, if not sooner.
Okay. That's not a bad time frame. I can handle within the year. That's actually not bad.
Because when they say, hey, that's a good idea, as opposed to, oh, well, yeah, let's get it working, put together PowerPoint, let's get it submitted and get it approved, that goes quicker.
Okay.
Doc Clausen is always, the last stamp of approval. Everything has to go through him. But the fact that everything's being put together, it's a good sign. I mean, it's going to go through.
All right. Well, I think we've exhausted our questions. So thank you very much, Jose. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you later or next time.
All right. Take
And like
care.
always, guys, you all have my email. Any questions, I always filter them through Corey, of course, but please feel free to ask any questions.
Have a good day, everyone.